Hello and welcome grade 11s. In our today's session we'll be looking at a short story titled Raymond's Run. On our short story we'll be highlighting the following points: the summary of the story, the title of the story, the themes of the story, the setting, the plot of the story, the characters and characterization. Now on our summary, this is a story of Hazel Parker. Who is also called Squeaky, and her older brother, Raymond. Who has intellectual disabilities. Squeaky's core role is to take care of her older brother Raymond, and was as a result exempted from doing house chores. When people mock Raymond, Squeaky becomes his aide. When the confrontation is very tough, she resorted to running as she has the fastest legs in Harlem. She is a responsible girl who goes an extra mile to ensure that his brother does not cause a ruckus due to his disability. She endures beatings from her parents or has to apologize to the community when Raymond gets out of control. She is fiercely competitive in her running and wins trophies in every race. She sees the newcomer, Gretchen, as an adversary. She eventually decides to drop out of running to coach Raymond as the next champion because of the running skills she witnessed from him. Now moving on to the title of the story. On the title of the story, we'll be looking at whether the title is suitable to the story or not. Now the title, Raymond's Run, it foreshadows the talent that is exposed through Hazel running with Raymond daily as a close monitoring, caring technique, which shifts our stereotypical focus on Raymond's disability to his raw running talent. So we can say the title is suitable to the story because on the story we see that the story is not focused on Raymond's disabilities but instead on his running talent. So the title is suitable because it focuses mainly on Raymond's running talent. And we'll be moving on to the themes of the story. On this story we have many different themes, and the first one we'll be looking at is unconditional love. Hazel's role is to take care of Raymond despite her still being a teenager in need of care. Notwithstanding the role being overpowering, Hazel finds a sense of pride and dignity in diligently executing it. She fights with her peers who try to bully Raymond and has to apologize where her brother causes a ruckus that offends community people. Hazel absorbs all the pressure that caring for Raymond brings to her. Her relationship with Raymond helps her to develop self-reliance and a positive and caring attitude in life. Caretaking is a model for her for good relationships. It leads to her discovery that winning championships is not everything in life. Caretaking makes her develop a compassionate attitude towards cooperating, support, and coaching. And our second theme is sibling relationship. This brings to light the fact that a good relationship between siblings is important. The tight relationship between Hazel and Raymond developed a sense of pride and identity in Hazel. She was proud to look after Raymond as her own, despite the community regarding him as disabled. She identified him on a sister-brother level, as everybody needs support. This close-knit relationship helped Hazel to discover the talent to run that her brother possessed and the need to nurture it, to turn him into the next champion. And our third theme is rivalry between girls. There is a stiff but positive competition between Hazel and Gretchen at the May Day celebration. Both of them want to work hard to win. Despite efforts by Gretchen and her sidekicks to put her off course, she is steadfast and focused in her training and conquers in the next competition. However, Hazel becomes the bigger person by not holding grudges against Gretchen by considering co-coaching Raymond with her. And our fourth theme is what matters more than winning. Hazel's isolation by girls pains her to the level of consideration that the world was against her. In the last part of the story, when she won with Raymond running by her side, it was then she realized that winning was not everything. She discovered that Raymond had running talent that she could collaborate with Gretchen to nurture it. And our fifth theme is femininity and female relationship. Hazel does not participate in the May pole dancing. She does not want to put on fancy dresses that other girls put on to May pole dancing extravaganza. She hates all of the activities and prefers running. She always acts tough and fights any emotions of femininity like other girls. She hides her pain of rejection by girls with a pretense that not all girl stuff matters to her. She believes that girls should just be themselves without outside influence. And our next theme is pride and identity. Hazel prides herself as a runner-cum caretaker. Her mother and dad did not support her races. Her teacher did not take pride in her running success. Gretchen and her assistants mocked her brother's intellectual disability. Her pride was winning trophies through working hard and believing in herself. She does not wear fancy dresses to participate in May dances. She identifies herself as a runner and nothing else. Her pride is also the discovery of Raymond's talent that she would like to nurture with the help of Gretchen. And now we'll be moving on to the setting of the story. The story takes place in Broadway, Harlem, in New York. And we'll be moving on to the plot of the story. And the first point we'll be looking at is the exposition. Now, an exposition is an introduction that provides details of characters and the setting of the story. And on our exposition of the story, the reader is introduced to an adolescent girl named Hazel, who is a steadfast runner and lives in Harlem City. At home, she is assigned with the responsibility of taking care of her brother Raymond, who has intellectual disabilities. And our next point on the story, on the plot of the story, is conflict. Hazel is confronted by Gretchen and her assistants, Louise and Rosie, while running. Hazel discovers that Gretchen intends to beat her in the next 50-yard May dash. And moving on to the next point, which is the rising action. A rising action is part of the story that develops the conflict. The taunting of Raymond by Gretchen's assistants about his mental disabilities prompts Hazel to develop a negative attitude towards the girls. The dare by Gretchen to win the next race gets Hazel to become even determined to victor in the next race. And moving on to the climax. The climax is the turning point of the story where the conflict reaches its peak. Hazel and Gretchen cross the finish line together and have to wait for the announcement of who won. She further realizes that Raymond ran along with her throughout the race. And our falling action. A falling action is the events of the story that lead to the resolution of the conflict. Now, Hazel realizes that Raymond is a very talented runner who should be nurtured to become the next Harlem 50-yard dash champion. And now moving on to the resolution. The resolution is the conclusion to the story that reveals the solution. Hazel smiles at Gretchen and realizes that it is better to be friends with Gretchen than rivals. She gains respect for her passion and determination to succeed. Hazel considers collaborating with Gretchen to coach Raymond into becoming the next running champion. Now we'll be moving on to the characters and characterization. And our first character is Hazel Parker, also known as Squeaky. Hazel is the protagonist of the story. She is also a round character. At the beginning of the story, she holds a negative attitude towards the girls as she feels the world isolates her. At the end of the story, she smiles at Gretchen and wants to become more of a friend than a rival. She is assigned an overwhelming task of caring for her older brother, Raymond. Her mother and father do not contribute much towards her identity and pride attainment in life. Both parents criticize her choice of running to participating in girls' dance in the maidens. Hazel has to overcome many challenges on her own while she cares for her brother Raymond. She is a staunch, fast and successful runner with many trophies. She is skinny and has a squeaky voice, and that is how she got the nickname Squeaky. And our next character is Hazel's mom. Hazel's mom is a flat character. A flat character is a character that does not change throughout the development of the story. And Hazel's mom does not change her view about Hazel throughout the story. Hazel's mom assigns overwhelming tasks to Hazel of looking after Raymond. She feels inadequate of looking for Raymond herself. She is a negligent mom. As she does not support Hazel's running hobby. She prescribes to Hazel what to do. She humiliates Hazel by discouraging her from practicing her breathing exercises in public. And our next character is Gretchen. Gretchen is also a flat character. She is the antagonist on the story. She is an antagonist as she competes with Hazel for the title of the 50th May Dash champion. She is a bully as she taunts Raymond because he has intellectual disabilities. She has passion for run and win in her races. She has short legs and freckles. She pretends to be tough even though she is not tough enough to stand her ground against Hazel. And our next character is Hazel's father. Hazel's father is a good runner. He is more faster than Hazel, as secretly revealed by Hazel. He provides for the family. He delegates the heavy carrying duty to Hazel. He encourages Hazel to be feminine by dancing in the May Dance celebration. He is embarrassed to run with girls, as revealed by Hazel. And our next character is Raymond. Raymond is Hazel's older brother. He has intellectual disability, which is also known as Down syndrome. Raymond is continuously mocked by Gretchen and her sidekicks about his mental limitations. He is protected and cared for by Hazel. He possesses a lot of talent to run despite his mental limitations. He inspires Hazel to quit running to coach him. And our next character is George. George is Hazel's other older brother. George failed in his caretaking responsibility as he could not protect Raymond entirely from being bullied. He spends most of his time doing family errands and selling Christmas cards to earn pocket money. And our next character is Mary Louise. Mary is Gretchen's sidekick. She talks badly about Raymond's intellectual disabilities from Gretchen's influence. And our next character is Cynthia. Cynthia is Hazel's classmate. She is resented by Squeaky for pretending to have natural skill for doing things and not going through hard practice first to achieve them. And our next character is Mr. Pearson. Mr. Pearson is Hazel's teacher. Whose duty is to pin runners' numbers at the annual May celebration races. Mr. Pearson is clumsy. He is nicknamed Beanstalk because he loves walking on stilts. He is dishonest. And corrupt, as he encourages Hazel to let Gretchen and other athletes to win without hard competition. Now moving on to our next character, we have Rosie. Rosie is Gretchen's sidekick. She taunts Raymond's mental disability. Rosie is humiliated by Hazel by calling her fat when she attacks Raymond. Now we'll be moving on to our next point, which is the narrator's point of view. Raymond's run is narrated in the first person through the protagonist Hazel. Narrated in the first person through the protagonist Hazel. First person narration is realized using the pronouns I. For examples, I do not want to do this. I want to go to this place. This allows us to follow up the experience of Harlem in the 70s through the eyes of Hazel, a poor but confident and hardworking black adolescent girl. And that will be all for our session today. Have a wonderful day ahead, and I hope you have learned. Thank you and goodbye.